Hello, warriors. Welcome to the You Movement. I am B. I promised authenticity and real-time updates of what awakening is like. So I am coming to you very raw and, looking a little disheveled. The last 24 hours have been absolutely brutal. I have said on many occasions, healing is not linear. It is up and down and all around. And we go back and revisit things each time, getting a little deeper into the muck to purge and purify all the bullshit. And some of the bullshit is our own. A lot of the bullshit is our own. So this video today is going to be difficult for me because it's taking some ownership, and I'm great at sitting on a certain ledge and saying to other people, you need to take ownership for your shit, and sitting in judgment. And so Karma came around and knocked on the door yesterday. Well, I'm going to say didn't knock. I'm going to say barged through the door and made me sit in the muck. And as much as I wanted to distract myself, even my distraction was a reminder of that which I cannot run from, that which I cannot deny. And I am not a perfect person. In fact, I have taken ownership of the fact that throughout my life, I have routinely been called a failure, a fuck up, deeply flawed, the F's. And that's because I have actually made fuck ups and have made bad decisions through my life. One aspect of it is when you believe you're a fuck up, you do things that go hand in hand with that belief. And when you don't know any better because the programming has taught you that you're less than, you're unworthy, you're lacking value, you are lacking in some way, we desperately search for ways to, one, repress the shadow, repress that, and to find ways to make ourselves feel better. And through this awakening, I've had to face my shadow time and time again. And, when I looked back, particularly at my drinking, I was really disgusted by a lot of my carry-on when I drank, because I would have been a binge drinker. And when I drank to excess. And when I drank, I did stupid things. I did a lot of stupid things. Particularly stupid things in regards to sexuality. So today's video, we're going to ignore the tears and we're going to just push through because this is an important topic that people need to talk about and need to address and need to face, including myself, which was that, I didn't believe I had any value or worthiness or virtue, certainly not any divinity. And your path back to God, spirit, the universe, the divine, on this insane twin flame journey that I have found myself on, makes you face a lot of behaviors that you have done, not just the substances, because of any of the substances, I deeply regret drinking. And I can understand, and I have come full circle in regards to the drinking, that it was all I knew. It was all I knew to make myself feel better, to feel less like wanting to not be here on this planet, to be unalive, because it's where I derived my joy from. That was my definition of joy, and my definition of sexuality was so skewed. I thought, in oppositions to almost everything that I think now, because I thought through being wanted by somebody else, that meant that I had value. That gave me value. So I took my sexuality as a skewed view of empowerment. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of us do. As sexuality becomes a power play, the player energy. And I was a player in my younger years, in my teens, in my 20s, in my young 30s, I was a player. It was the game, right? You get your liquid courage on, you get your sexy clothes on, you get your cleavage out, the femme fatale archetype, put that mask on, and go out to the nightclubs and, be alluring. And that was manipulation, because ultimately inside was somebody who desperately wanted to be loved, and thought through the use of sexuality and sexual prowess, that's how I would obtain it. And I wasn't always loyal to the boyfriends or even my husband, because I was married at age 20 and divorced by 22. And because I had basically run away from home at 18, and moved in before I had finished high school, moved in with my boyfriend, who then became a husband, So we were playing house in our teen years, another desperate, plea to, like, please love me, please. And when the marriage was off, it's hard to be married at 20, and I'm trying not to make excuses. I would prefer to take, like, absolute ownership of this. I wasn't happy in the marriage, but I didn't know how to communicate that, and I didn't know how to leave, because I was so codependent. I had jumped from an abusive household into something that was like, please save me. So I didn't know how to be on my own. I'd never been in that energy, and I certainly wasn't taught how to be independent. So instead of using words and communicating, I used my saboteur archetype in alignment with sexuality to try to get out of this marriage on multiple times. Looking if I can look for somebody else, then I can jump from this relationship into this relationship, right? And that didn't work, and that backfired big time. And I always wrote it off as, well, I hadn't really had an affair because I didn't have sex with them, even though I was out flirting and crossing boundaries and being inappropriate with gentlemen that weren't my husband. And then I did push the envelope one step further and did cheat on him. And then I cheated on him again. And then I cheated on him again. And, I used to write it off as, well, I had asked for permission for one of those because it was with a woman. And I was like, I'm in university. I want to know what it is to experience this. So can I have permission to do this? And he gave me permission. What really it was he was supposed to do? He was backed into a corner. He didn't really have a choice. And so obviously that was the straw that broke the camel's back. The mission was, destroy this marriage. And I successfully did that. I successfully destroyed it. And so he asked for a divorce, understandably. I've since apologized to him over the last 30 years. I don't know, probably close to 10 times. At this stage, he's like, please stop apologizing. It's getting old. But the person that I needed to really apologize to was me. But instead, I pushed it down and, in my 20s carried on, and had a very attitude, well, like, fuck you all, attitude. I was a very angry person when I was younger because of the abuse. So I took it out on a dance floor, I'd go to, punk places and bash into people, even though I was just tiny. Like, I'm only about 5'3", and I would have been not as tiny as I am now. I'm actually the tiniest I've ever been, but I would have been quite small, and there'd be like 6-foot-something dudes. I didn't care. I'd be bashing into them. So I took a lot of my anger and aggression out on the dance floor, but I still had that player kind of energy of like, I need to go out and take what's mine. And that put me in harm's way more than once. And, others would take advantage of my lack of boundaries, my lack of self-value, my lack of any kind of virtue. Thus began my path of relationship, and my path of relationship was not how I wanted it to be, by no means. I wanted to lay down the masks. I wanted to have family that I had never had before. I wanted to create something beautiful and when I got pregnant at age 27, unexpectedly, I thought this was it. This is going to turn my life around, and off I went to Ireland, where I lived for a decade. But unfortunately, the relationship, because it was based on the party girl archetype, we met in a bar, we drank nightly. He had been visiting Canada, and it was party, and a lot of sex for a couple of months, and then I fell pregnant. So the relationship disintegrated before my son was even born, and I was already in Ireland, and I had no way home. And when I asked for assistance to come home, I was told I made my bed, now go lie in it. So I tried really hard to set up, but like I was devastated. There was a lot of grief that I was experiencing because I was alone in a foreign country as a single mom. And even though his dad participated in the rearing of our child, he'd lost interest in the mask. The mask was gone, and I was trying to be me and trying to be a mom, be sober, and that's when I first discovered Reiki and started my training. So my spiritual awakening kind of began back then, which is 21 years ago. No, 24 years ago. 24, 20, my son's turning 25 this year. And that's when I first started to really know me, get to know me, this healer, somebody that was going to heal myself. And I put a lot of time and energy into healing myself, even though I was kind of balancing two worlds, because when I'd be in my mom energy and be in my healer energy, and there'd be like this side of me over here, and then there'd be this side of me over here on the weekends, where I'd still be going out and drinking and on the pole, and that player energy of trying to find partnership and everything. So there was I was two people at once, and I didn't like being two people, but that's who I was. There was the people that this group of people knew, and then there was the person that this group of people knew. And there was incongruence. It was being split apart in two. And because underlying this division of self, this separation of self, and ultimately separation from soul, certainly, and separation from grounding myself in any in anything that could be rooted well. It was these misalignments of person, completely incongruent from each other. And so when I met my ex, I was like, is this what I've been looking for? But I was segmented. I was a segmented person. I wasn't a whole person. Because of that, I was vulnerable and blind, very, very blind to what actually was on offer. I thought that I had done so much healing work on myself, and so much, because I had been doing all the Reiki and I was doing all the affirmations and I was reading all the books, and I mean, I was doing everything and everything and bit by bit, I was pulling myself away from that player archetype, that player energy, and just being on my own. So like, I was hermited for the last few years that I lived in Ireland, a lot. Like that last year that I lived there, I rarely ever went out anymore, so this persona had begun to collapse, and I just wanted to be in this person over here, completely, and I thought that I was, because I was in this spiritual ego place. I was in, and I did a video the other day on spiritual ego, and I own 100% that, I was in there for a long time, because I had done all the Wayne Dyers, and I'd done all the, all this, read The Secret, and I had my manifestation board, and I was going to manifest in my dream partner, and I was going to do this, that, and the other, and I didn't realize that a lot of that is, and there's weird things that are associated with the whole concept of manifestation, because I certainly wasn't trying to manifest a karmic partner, but that's what I got, because that's what I needed to get. So we don't manifest bad things. There's this element of blame in there. That's a side note. I don't really want to talk about that, but like, there is this element of blame that, if you don't manifest correctly, if you don't change your thinking, if you don't, and I mean, I was doing affirmations every single day. Every single day I was already doing affirmations. And this would be like 15, 16 years ago. So I was in this great spiritual ego. I'm a Reiki practitioner, and I know how to manifest, and I'm bringing myself out of this destructive energy, and I'm bringing myself into this alignment, and here I'm going to manifest in a husband. And so somebody that comes along all of a sudden and like love bombs you continuously for a year, you think, this is it. This is my dreams come true. So all of that did was put me in la la land for a long time, because I was like, this is what I manifested, and this is what I finally deserve. I finally lifted my confidence up off the floor, and my value up off the floor, and look, this is what I deserve. So when I moved back to Canada to be with him and set up life together, and things started to go haywire, I was like, oh, no, we got to fix this. I manifested this. This is my happy ever after. I'm going to put everything and anything into this. And so I had collapsed that player archetype, but I had created a whole bunch of karma for myself. That I was completely oblivious to. I was oblivious to the fact that I was being played now. I was being cheated on now. I was being lied to and manipulated now. And a lot of those things, I can forgive very easily. I can certainly forgive the cheating, because I think that the thing with cheating, the thing with that is, nobody knows that we are these divine beings of light. It's like our memory is scrubbed, and we are wounded. We are deeply wounded and traumatized as children. And so it's like we're playing a game that we carry on into our adult years, but we still have the psyche of a child. So desperate wanting to be loved, so desperately wanting to feel good. And while sex feels good, sex feels very good. And so we get this like validation that, oh, they think we're attractive, and oh, they desire us, and being desired is a drug. desirability, making yourself desirable and then being desired is energetically like a chemical hit to your brain. So it is like a drug. And so a lot of people, hookup culture is almost promoted now. Like we've got Tinders and 1,000,001 dating apps and, looking for casual and, that's fine if two people are coming together and being 100% honest about the situation. I wasn't back when I was in that energy. I wasn't 100%, like, well, I'm going to hook up with you and this is just casual, but really I'm hoping that you're going to fall in love with me and want to be with me. I wasn't saying that. And they weren't saying, maybe they were like saying, I really like you and I enjoy being with you and I enjoy talking with you. But what I really want is just to screw you and then to like take off in about an hour, So to those that are out there showing up, and saying, listen, I just want to screw you. And are you good with that? Then kudos to you. I think that's fantastic because at least you have the element of honesty. However, I wonder if you will find yourself sitting in the energy that I'm sitting in over the last 24 hours of being kind of shown, these are the lovers of your past, and you going like, oh, gross, like gross. And I don't mean gross as in who they are, although some of them were gross. But gross as in, I devalued myself to such an extent where I thought that that was appropriate behavior. Not only did I think it was appropriate, I thought it was empowered. I was so deluded that I thought I was taking control over my sexuality, and I was, I was going to do it my way. I had a real kind of chip on my shoulder. Now I have a dragon. So this hookup culture, because we are constantly promoting, energies, exchanges, and there's no more powerful an energy exchange than sexuality. What happened to me and happens to a lot of people in this spiritual awakening is once triggered. For me, my sex center, the root chakra, the solar sacral, both of those house sexual energy completely and utterly, like just shut down. So, as I say, I probably came in cross paths with my twin around 2015, 2016, and like my sex drive just completely died, like just died. So I was a very sexual woman. And as I said, used that energy as a means of temptation and alluring and obtaining desirability in desperate hope, in codependent hope of landing myself a partner. And it's that codependent hook that landed myself quite a nasty karmic lesson partner with brutal lessons attached to it. Lessons that I have been forced to sit in and learn because everybody will get served their karma, and it's unpleasant, but it's humbling at its very best. It teaches us to get off our high horse, to stop sitting in judgment, and to lower your gaze, and as even is said in the Bible, thou without sin cast the first stone. So I can't sit in a position of judgment to other people who have cheated, even though I have a very staunch anti-cheating belief now for myself. Like, it's not something I would ever do ever again, because I've learned the karmic lesson associated with it. It's brutal. Nor can I sit in judgment of player energy, of, trying to obtain that feel-good factor through other people, whether you're in a relationship or not. That player archetype is dishonest. It's self-focused. It's manipulative. I was that, so I can't judge it anymore. And nor can I judge anybody for using sexuality as a means to attempt to make themselves feel better when life feels horrific and miserable. We grasp at anything and everything, and that can be substances, it can be smoking, it can be pharmaceuticals, it can be work addiction, it can be controlling, it can be sexuality. And the whole thing with sexuality that concerns me is, this is a root chakra consciousness. It's a low level consciousness in comparison, and the awakening is our conscious evolution, our conscious maturation, and as we come through this period where this energy was taken away from me, and I'm grateful that it was. Like, if you had asked me in my 20s, would I ever be celibate, I would have laughed at you. And I'm so grateful, because it was like I was put in a timeout box to be with myself, to learn who I am, to learn my value, to learn my worth, to learn my divinity. And I've been celibate a very long time now. Let's see, I don't even know how many years, 2021. And I don't date, although I'm slowly coming to the place where I would be open to the possibility of it. I have needed this time out. I have needed that, soul and spirit work to, like, lock you down, shut this shit down. This is a no. You're gonna sit in this, and you're gonna think about what you've done, kind of thing. A little bit of a scolding energy of, you need to review who you actually are, because I didn't know. Ultimately, I didn't know. I wish I had known. I really wish upon anything that I had known. I wish that I had known, and that somebody had told me that, I had virtue, that I had value, that I was worthy of, that I was divine. I didn't know these things. This twin flame journey wakes you up to your divinity, and wakes you up and sends you down on this crazy journey back to self, and self-love and self-forgiveness is primarily the energy that I've been in for the last 12 hours at least, of trying to forgive that person, that forgive myself for making the choices that I made, for making choices that probably hurt some men out there. Maybe some probably were like, they didn't care. They were, as long as they were getting their rocks off, they didn't care. But I know I hurt. I hurt some, and I am saddened that I hurt some people. And I'm certainly saddened that I hurt myself unknowingly and unwittingly with my skewed thinking. And I'm trying very hard to forgive myself right now. It's hard. It's really hard. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. That's all I can kind of say to myself, to like, I didn't know that there was, you know, I didn't know that there was divinity. I didn't know, I was a lost soul, wandering around this planet, hurting, desperate, and traumatized. And I did the best that I could. I really did the best that I could. Did I fail? Yeah, I failed good many times, but I kept trying. I kept getting back up and kept trying, and I kept trying to learn each karmic lesson as it came. I've been clearing karma for a long time now, and when you know better, you do better. And you know, there's been certain karmic lessons that have come at price tags, monetarily, and there's been certain karmic lessons that have come at internally, in a release of a lot of pain, shame, and ultimately learning how to forgive, forgive that younger woman that didn't know better, and forgive, I don't know, we are in a strange world where on this journey, everything that once was for me has become the complete and other polar opposite energy now. I've gone from punk rocker to prayer. I've gone from, you know, player to, you know, celibate. I've gone from drinker and partier to isolation and hermiting, and those have been gifts. All of these gifts of bringing me from one, anywhere I was so vilely out of alignment, I've been pulled into the opposing energy. So I've gone from like a highly sexual person into this this celibate person. My values have completely and utterly morphed over the years to become virtuous, honor, integrity, honesty, even when it hurts. Because honesty is a really difficult one, especially when it comes to sexuality, because, you know, as I said, how many people show up and say, hey, you know, I'm going to be honest, I just want to fuck you for the next hour, and then I'm going to leave and never talk to you again. People don't say things like that. So honesty, for me, is one of the most important traits for me. And, you know, it's one that I've had to become more and more and more honest, and brutally honest. And in that, we have to learn to be honest with ourselves first and foremost. We have to be loyal to ourselves. We have to show ourselves honor and integrity and respect and forgiveness, and all of that's why we're put into isolation. That's why we're put into a timeout through this purification process, which is literally like allowing myself to become pure again. And I'm so grateful that I have been chosen from spirit, from God, to go through this. as difficult and brutal a process as it has been at times, I have a lot of gratitude to the divine for loving me enough when I didn't love myself at all. Yes, I looked for love in all the wrong places, and now I look for love within myself and through myself, through to the divine. So if you have had a sketchy sexual past and have used sexuality as a means, and not just sexuality, but, you know, flirtation and crossing boundaries that shouldn't have been crossed, and you're going through a hard time because of that, I am sending you my absolute love and understanding and compassion, because facing our missteps, our mistakes, it is brutally difficult, but I have to practice what I preach, and that means going into my own muck to unfuck, so that I'm not sitting on any high horses, and you know, I can own my own bullshit. So yes, that seems to be the energy that we're currently in at the present moment in time, is owning your own bullshit. And it's smelly and gross. So if you would like to book with me to discuss some of the stuff that you are experiencing, embarrassment or karmic stuff that you are, karmic bills that you've been handed, this is your karmic bill. And that's what it is. It's kind of like spirit comes around and say, you know, you owe this much, and clearly I owe, and I'm paying for that in time on my own. Is how I'm paying this particular bill, and I take ownership of that, and I will be on my own for as long as spirit wants me on my own, until I clean up this mess that I've made for myself. And if spirit sees fit to one day send me partnership, it's going to be a partnership that is based on all of those values that I'm learning to cultivate in here first, and therefore it'll be divine. With that all said, I'm sending you all my absolute love, no matter what you're facing. Be prepared. This year is going to be a bumpy year. So if you've got stuff lurking in your closets that you haven't faced, Spirit's going to come along and open that closet and dump it all out on the floor. And when that happens, I'll be here for you to hold space and to understand with compassion how painful a process that is. I am sending you all my love, as I said. Peace in. Peace in.